And host of Ignition and then the Weekend City Show. Anytime you miss out on your favorite shows, here's what you can do to catch up. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Whatever show you love will be there on demand anytime, any day. Get on there and catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy99.7.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of Ignition and then the Weekend.
7.
My name is Kuju Yankson. Let me tell you how to turn back time. You can now bring back all the fun, all the excitement, all the controversy of the Super.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. It's on Love 99.5 FM and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Sun City Radio in Keta, Nkigli FM in Bole, Sky FM in Sunyani, Radio Max in Takrade, and Amenuveve FM in Ho. You can also download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live around the world. In this edition, one person dead, 2-year-old and driver in critical condition in another accident which occurred near Gumwam on the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway in the central region. We have the latest on this accident coming barely days after 10 people died at that same spot over the weekend. Family of social media activist Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka, asks Chief Imam to use his influence to ensure release of his brother remanded into police custody for the past 2 months over the murder.
Our plea to Eminence Chief Imam is we want him to intervene, assist us in this matter, this uncalled for act. We don't know what is really happening to our brother.
We'll hear from them as they take on government for failing to release details of report by committee that investigated the Ijra disturbances weeks after it presented it. Lawyer at the center of $5 million allegation against Chief Justice insists he did not peddle falsehood or act recklessly. We have exclusive details of his account of what transpired when he appeared before the General Legal Counsel over that bribery allegation. In sports,
that will be in 20 minutes, where Youth and Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf is setting medal-winning targets for Team Ghana as the Paralympic Games rolls off to a start.
And later in showbiz, gospel musician MOG Music shares how much a church paid him to perform in Cape Coast.
There's been a case where I drove all the way to Cape Coast, and the program I went to, the church gave me a bottle of water, small one, 2 meat pies, and 20 Ghana.
We have that and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Please stay for details. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of bold, credible and fearless journalism. This afternoon, the family of the late social media activist Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka, has appealed to the Chief Imam to assist in the release of his brother. Kaka's brother, Baba Idi, has been remanded into police custody for the past 2 months over the murder of the deceased. The family says his arrest is unlawful, arguing he has no hand in the murder of the late social media activist. When the family called on the Chief Imam a while ago, spokesperson Nafiu Mohammed said the absence of the brother has had a toll on the family because he was expected to take care of the bereaved family.
He was killed by his own people he belongs to. We know them. They are those people who were arrested. So they took our brother for a period of 2 months now. We actually don't know what is really happening. Kaka investigation, nothing is coming out of it. Nothing. The family have not been engaged in any way to clarify anything. We are still on the matter, but we don't know. Our plea to Eminence Chief Imam is we want him to intervene, assist us in this matter, this uncalled for act. We don't know what is really happening to our brother, who has been remanded for 3 times, and he is in there.
That's Nafiu Mohammed, spokesperson for the late Kaka's family. Well, my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson is at the residence of the Chief Imam. He joins us with more. Kwesi, what more has the family been telling the Chief Imam besides the appeal to have their brother released?
I mean, the family observed that how the police has conducted this investigation has brought them more pain than what they were expecting. That is justice. Because how they've handled their brother and even the investigation, they were not engaged And so they are surprised that the police would have to do that. A point was made about how they had wanted to request an audience with the IGP, and yet they were ignored. And so for them, they are losing hope and trust in the police, and that is why they have run to the chief imam to seek some solace and refuge in ensuring that they get justice.
And that solace they were looking for from the chief imam, did they get it? What are the assurances that they got from him?
I mean, for the chief imam himself also expressed concerns about the delay in the investigation. He made the point that his advisory board would get involved and ensure that justice indeed is given to the family of the deceased.
I am also concerned. I'm also affected that I have not heard anything from the investigations. I will make my advisory board to get involved, so that we find out exactly where are we with respect to the investigations, so that we will find solution to the problem and also establish justice. Mashallah.
That's the Chief Imam spokesperson. Now, Kwesi, just before I let you off, we understand members of the Fix the Country campaigners were also at the Chief Imam's house to accompany the family. What have they been saying?
Well, so we know of Oliver Bakapomawo. We are told that he is now the legal advice. He's providing legal advice to the family of the late Kaka. And for him, they also ran to the Chief Imam basically because the court system is not designed to heal. And he believes that with the high office of the Chief Imam, when he intervenes and justice is served, those who were involved in the disturbances and again the murder of Kaka, they will all get some closure, and that is why they have come. So they will ensure that at the end of the day, they get justice for the family of Kaka.
That's my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson reporting from the Chief Imam's palace. Now, one of the issues the family has placed before the Chief Imam was what they described as government's failure to release details of report by the committee that investigated the Ijura disturbances. It's been almost a month since the committee presented the report to the Interior Minister. My colleague Ohiming Terrier looks back at the events following the disturbances at Ijura that led to the death of 2 persons.
Court documents have revealed social activist Ibrahim Mohammed, also known as Kakamechu, was attacked whilst entering his Ejradagomba line residence on June 26, 2021. His assailants, who wielded clubs, attacked his occipital region, left him in an unconscious state and fled. He died on 28 June 2021, 3 days after the incident at Konfanoche Teaching Hospital. Kaka's death sparked clashes in Ejra, leading to the shooting to death of 2 people, whilst 4 others suffered gunshot injuries. A committee of inquiry, chaired by Court of Appeal Judge Justice George Kingsley Compson, was set up by government to investigate the clashes. It began its public engagement on July 5, 2021, after a visit to Ejra and received testimonies from 22 witnesses, including 3 in camera. Among them was Municipal Chief Executive for Ejura Sechedumase, Mohammed Salisu Bamba. He told the committee 2 of the 3 persons arrested in connection with the murder of the late Kakamechu are polling station executives of the New Patriotic Party in Ejura. They are Fuseni Alasa and Ibrahim Isaka, also known as Enyas.
You know one person called Anyas?
Yes, I know him.
What is your relationship with him?
He's MPP party member. He's a polling station executive. Anyas, as I told you, is our polling station executive. And the other guy, Alasan, is also our polling station executive. Actually, Anyas is at GKC polling station. And Anyas is in the Gombalai FM-based polling station. They are MPP party members that I know.
Mr. Bamba was also quizzed on his relationship with the 2 men said to be his bodyguards.
Were the 2 people that were arrested, are they your bodyguards?
Not at all.
But was the late Kakamechu a known member of the Fix the Country movement? His wife and cousin provided the committee some answers.
Additional to the work that he does, he also goes round to ascertain within the community, wherever he finds that something is going wrong,
One critical issue that came up at the committee's hearing was who ordered the military men to Edra. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah admitted he did.
I called the commanding officer for battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Pepra, to dispatch some of the Operation Calm Life teams to go to Edra to provide protection during that night.
We as a committee, we are a fact-finding committee. And we've not come out to say that anyone's evidence is stupid or is irrelevant.
On July 27, 2021, the committee presented its report in a 55-page document to the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, who promised to study and report findings to President Akufo-Addo. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohim Interior reporting.
It's time for our Dry Safe campaign.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Now, one person is reported dead, a 2-year-old and a driver also in critical condition. Another accident which occurred near Gumwa Mampong on the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway in the central region. The accident, which occurred earlier today, is coming barely days after 10 people died in an accident at that same spot over the weekend. Adom FM's Kofi J is at the scene and joins us on the line with more. Kofi, what details do you have regarding how this latest accident occurred?
According to police, there was a spoiled car in the middle of the road, whilst the cargo car was also coming from in the direction to Kaswa. But the first car, which was spoiled on the road, failed to put warning sign behind the car. So this car just came and hit, and immediately the mother died. And as I'm speaking to you now, the driver and the child is in critical condition, receiving treatment at the Uniba Hospital.
So how many persons do we know that are injured?
2. The driver and the child.
Okay. Well, you've been interacting with some persons. We can listen to them.
An accident on the Gumba and Porter Road close to Fisaka Johnson. So I meant to see that today. I want to go there. It was a design truck that had crashed into a parked vehicle that was parked by the roadside. But according to the eyewitness, it seems the design was traveling from Cape Coast to Rija. So whilst on the way, they were going to pick tires. It seems one of the tires got burst. So the driver lost control over the distance and ran into the parked truck. In the process, killing the woman who was sitting by the side of the driver. And a 5-year-old boy also in the car also received injuries. So at the moment, the man and the boy are receiving this treatment at the trauma hospital.
That's DO1 Henry Esiedu, is a Winneba fire officer. Well, following the weekend's deaths from the accidents in the central, eastern and upper east, calls have intensified for the construction of dual carriageways for Ghana's major roads. But did you know which days most accidents occur? We have details from a report by the National Road Safety Authority. My colleague Kofi J with our research desk joins me in studio. Kofi, so which days record the most accidents? Walk us through it.
Right, so MFR per analysis using data provided by the National Road Safety Authority, averagely about 14.9% of all road traffic deaths occur on Mondays, 12.2% on Tuesdays, 11.8% on Wednesdays, 13.5% on Thursdays, 15.6% on Fridays, 16.9% on Saturdays, 15.1% on Sundays. This simply means that all things being equal, death tolls are high on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, whilst Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays have relatively low death tolls.
Okay, so the report also details the types of collisions in accidents. Tell us about it.
So, MFA, in Ghana, there are at least 5 different collision types resulting in deaths every year, and they include head-on collision, rear collision, pedestrian knockdowns, round-off collision, and others.
So let's talk about pedestrian knockdowns, which the report has raised concerns about.
So, surprisingly, pedestrian knockdowns averagely account for close to 40% of all deaths recorded as a result of road traffic crashes every year. This is followed by head-on collision, which accounts for a little over 20% of all road traffic deaths. This means that together, pedestrian knockdowns and head-on collision account for close to 60% of all our road traffic crash deaths.
Now you know why you ought to drive safe.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Now, the lawyer at the center of $5 million bribe allegation against Chief Justice Kwesi Afrifa insists he did not peddle falsehood or act recklessly. He is in court seeking to set aside 9 charges bordering on misconduct leveled against him by the General Legal Counsel. Mr. Afrifa was one-time lawyer for a chief alleged to have claimed the Chief Justice asked for a $5 million bribe to ensure a favorable judgment. The chief dragged Mr. Afrifa to the General Legal Counsel demanding refund of the said bribe money. The council, after its initial hearing, concluded a case of misconduct has been made against the lawyer. Joy News has today secured exclusive details of documents filed by the lawyer explaining his version of what transpired when he appeared before the council. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins me in studio with more. Joseph, there were two meetings. Tell us about the first and what the lawyer alleges happened.
And so on the July 15 meeting, Mr. Afrifa says on arrival, he was informed that the chief had filed, that is, his client had filed another process against him. He says he urged the council to adjourn the matter since he had not been served with the documents. This plea, he claims, was ignored and he was handed the 8-page response with the hearing taken off shortly after. He continues that it was after this hearing that he was informed that the prima facie case had been established against him. And so he argues that this is contrary to laid down procedure because he did not have enough time and he was not able to respond appropriately to the matter as he had wanted to if he had been given enough time to prepare before responding to it.
So we understand on the second day, he alleges the panel handling the matter changed?
Yes, he specifically mentions Justice Mafusa, who we know has now passed on, has since passed on. He makes the point that he was part of the July 15 meeting, but on the July 29 meeting, he was not part of this particular proceedings.
Okay, so finally, does he stand by the allegations he made against the Chief Justice?
He makes the point that he simply repeated exactly what his client had stated. This, he argues, is not reckless or confirmation of truth or otherwise of the allegations. He states further that he could not have assessed the truth of what he was told because he was not part of the said meetings his client participated in. Mr. Afrifa justifies his disclosure of this allegation by saying it was necessary to enable him put up his defense at the General Legal Counsel.
Many thanks, Joseph Akable. But we know this matter triggered a probe by the presidency into a petition submitted by pressure group Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA. The group had alleged the Chief Justice is unfit to hold office as a result of the allegations. This petition has since been dismissed by the president, describing it as unmeritorious and unwarranted. But the executive director of ASEPA, Mensa Thompson, insists the group won't back down in the quest for an independent probe.
But we shall not relent on our responsibility. We want to use this opportunity to thank the people of Ghana for their immense support for us in this fight. We want to assure the people of this country that this matter, whether the presidency likes it or not, whether Schwartz likes it or not, will travel its full length and will go every step of the way to ensure that we bring closure to this matter. Not in the interest of anybody, not with prejudice towards anybody, but in protection of the image of the judiciary and our democracy.
That's the executive director of ASEPA, Mensa Thompson. Now, Deputy Roads and Highways Minister Stephen Jalula says 4 contractors have been dispatched to work on the damaged section of roads destroyed by floods in the Upper West region 2 weeks ago. 8 out of 11 communities were cut off after the rains, which also displaced many as well as destroyed farmlands. It took days for the NADMO to send relief items to those affected as roads were unmotorable. You'll recall the sector minister, Kwesi Amwakwata, promised to set in process or in motion to immediately fix the roads.
We do not want to see any part of our country cut off from the rest. What has happened is unfortunate, particularly the road infrastructure. But everybody should know that what has been destroyed is not beyond human solution.
Well, Stephen Jalula, who spoke to Hannah Odami a while ago, says his minister has briefed the contractors and tasked them to immediately begin work.
Yesterday, they met with my boss and the technical people in the ministry to decide the way forward, and has come out that we will need about 15 million Ghana cedis to fix those roads. And the contractors who are already on projects within the vicinity of the Upper West region are going to do that. I think there are about 4 or 5 contractors who are going to work on that project.
So do we have the money readily available?
Yes, this is an emergency problem, and we cannot wait for
for money. We have to get the money, and I think that we have the money.
And how soon do you think that these 4 contractors will go to the site?
Yes, they are to go immediately.
Like today?
Yes, they were dispatched yesterday to start work immediately. Whatever work they can do now, if the water has receded, that would have been better. But whatever work they can start now, immediately they have to do it to get the roads all fixed again for the people.
That's Stephen Jalula. He's the Deputy Roads and Highway Minister, speaking to my colleague Hannah Odame. Let's bring in regional correspondent Rafiq Salam. Rafiq, we are told that work is supposed to begin immediately. What's the status of these roads?
The state, nothing has changed at the roads. It's still the same. The people are still suffering. Several people are queuing. And then transfer fares are still hiking. And so nothing much has changed as far as the roads are concerned.
And how are residents faring?
The residents are feeling the pinch. What they only got is some relief items that were brought to them by NADVO. But there's an issue here because they have donated these items to saying that they don't even have the power to even send them to those communities, because these are donations that are given to the assemblymen for onward transportation to these affected communities and who they cannot even reach.
Okay, so last week you reported that transport fares had gone up because of the situation. Is it the same or it's been reversed?
It hasn't been reversed. The only change that I can tell you for now regarding Anadolu, where they used to pass somewhere around the Pen road, now they are passing through Dung, but at a heavy cost.
That's my colleague Rafiq Salam reporting from the Upper West region. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on affiliates across the country, including Love FM in Kumasi, Sun City Radio in Keta, in Kigli FM in Bole, and Amenuveve FM in Ho. Our top story so far: 1 person dead, 2-year-old boy and driver in critical condition in another accident which occurred near Gumwa Mampong on the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway in the central region, the same spot that claimed 10 lives over the weekend. We've also been giving you details. The lawyer at the center of $5 million bribe allegation against Chief Justice insists he did not peddle falsehood or act recklessly. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then in showbiz, gospel musician MOG Music shares how much a church paid him to perform in Cape Coast.
There's been a case where I drove all the way to Cape Coast, and the program I went to, the church gave me a bottle of water, small one, 2 meat pies, and 20 Ghana.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one.
Many thanks for your company here on the Midday News. It's time for sports. Nathaniel Atto Dapa always is here with the latest. So we are done with the Olympics. We are getting ready for the Paralympics. What's
Definitely,
that?
and action begins today in Tokyo, Japan, and Ghana will begin competition. And I'll tell you about our athletes. Now, Frederick Asso is a paracyclist who will compete for Team Ghana in the men's B 4,000 meters individual pursuit and the men's B 1,000 meters team trial. Now, he's been active in previous years and has participated in various major events. I'll also tell you about para high jumper Yusuf Amadou, who was Ghana's flag bearer at the 2016 Paralympic Games hosted in Rio, Brazil. And in the Rio Games, he finished 11th and will compete in the T42 high jump this year. I'd also tell you about 30-year-old Emmanuel Oku, who will compete in the men's 72 kg para-powerlifting event. Now, he qualified for the Paralympic Games after winning bronze in the men's 72 kg category at the World Para-Powerlifting World Cup in Manchester, UK. Meanwhile, Youth and Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf wants the team to aim for gold.
I want to hand over the flag of our country to the team so that you lift the flag of Ghana high whilst you are participating in the tournament. You saw what our brothers and sisters have done in the main Olympic tournament
which has just ended. So I have no doubt at all that the para team are also going to make us proud. But by coming home with not only bronze, but gold, and this time not gold from Obuasi or Takwa, but gold from Tokyo.
So we're waiting for gold from Tokyo, isn't it?
I thought we had the best.
Well, yeah, but we want the gold from Tokyo. It's symbolic and significant.
Okay.
That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Now, two groups, Fix the Country Movement and the National Interest Movement, led by former flag bearer of the Convention People Party, Dr. Abu Sakara Foster, have embarked on an ambitious project to collect signatures to force the hand of President Akufo-Addo towards a review of the 1992 Constitution. The almost 30-year document, which ushered in the Fourth Republic, has come under criticism, with proponents demanding a review, saying it only benefits the political elite. Convener of the Fix the Country Movement, Oliver Bakavomawo, says a fresh constitution intended to represent the hope and aspirations of Ghanaians is much needed.
We do not want politicians to hijack the process. And the biggest risk of hijacking comes in the review conversation.
All right, so you talk about Fix the Country Movement, but here's the case where you're talking about a new constitution altogether. To me, it sounds more like reset the country rather than fix the country. Because
to be able to fix Ghana, we need a certain reset in certain dimensions. The people do not leave. But the underlying document that founds the country needs to change for that fixing process and healing process to happen. So many of our citizens keep dying in our hospitals, which are underfunded. So many of our people are being left behind by poor educational facilities. So many people live in communities which are disconnected from major areas. They cannot get their farm produce to market. And so many people who have to cross miles to get basic education. And if our concern is about numbering, then I think we've already lost the plot, right? At every time in the nation's life, we have to ask ourselves, are we delivering justice to our people? Now, I have today closed my eyes under this Fourth Republic, and I've imagined 10 years down the line, and I cannot see a change in what is happening. I cannot see anything that is bringing justice to our people. I cannot see anything that is moving us on a path towards improving lives, apart from the rigmarole of one politician and one party and the other party. We want to engage Ghanaians in a different project that creates belief that this country can deliver justice.
That's Oliver Bakavomawo, convener of the Fix the Country Movement, speaking to Israel Lai on the AM show. On the other hand, in the National Interest Movement led by Dr. Abu Sakara Foster, they are targeting 40,000 signatures from every constituency in the country to force Parliament to act on the need for a review of the Constitution. He tells Joy News the current Constitution only benefits a few.
We've dealt with why we need reform. We've even dealt with what reforms we need. The question is, how do we get there? Now, having submitted these things to the Speaker and informing him about this, we felt it was the correct thing to do, so nobody can blame us for not doing it. So we are going down to the people at the grassroots level. We are saying to each of these people, look, these constitutional reforms, this is what they mean to you. They have to mean something to ordinary people in their everyday lives. If we talk about meritocracy, what it means is that your child, who is fantastic, has finished university but doesn't know anybody, cannot get a proper job. They are not getting their due merit. We want a system where, because of what they're capable of, that they have that opportunity.
Now, the 1992 Constitution, the longest since independence, ushered in the Fourth Republic. The late President Mills in 2020 constituted a team to review the Constitution, but outcome of its work was never implemented. At a meeting with members of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, President Akufo-Addo rejected a wholesale review of the Constitution.
To have a republic that has lasted nearly 30 years in the context of our history, to change the constitutional arrangements that have assisted this durability, we should be very careful how we go about it. I feel very strongly on that point, and that is why I have not lent my support to the idea of this wholesale review of the Constitution. The one area which I felt required action was the one that I put before the country, which was the extension of multi-party democratic rule to local government. Once again, as far as that was concerned, I did not think that it was an amendment or a revision of our governance structure that should be done on the basis of party preference or party government.
President Akufo-Addo. It's time for Showbiz, and we're still in the church because it was topical on Showbiz A to Z. Mapito.
Now, MFA, you know that a lot of people think that if you're a gospel musician, you shouldn't be paid for your appearances in church. Well, MOG Music was sharing how he was paid like some 2 meat pies, also 20 Ghana cedis. But Celestine Donko also thinks that if it's a local church and she grew up in that church, they invested in her, then she thinks that it's her seed, so she shouldn't get paid.
I don't expect that the way Church A will treat me when I go to Church B, they should treat me the same. Because probably their finance may be different, what they are making is different, probably they are in crisis. I mean, there's been a case where I drove all the way to Cape Coast, and the program I went to, I won't mention the name of the church. The church gave me a bottle of water, small one, 2 meat pies, and 20 Ghana cedis. And then again, I've been to a place where the pastor decided to bless me and my team with 15,000 cedis. It would be very unfair for us to put the whole church thing into one basket.
There is my local church where I attend, where by my personal decision, I feel I owe my service to that church. It is not even morally okay for me to talk about money when it comes to my local church. But when we are talking of the church as regards to the national or the global in reception to gospel artists, that is also a different ballgame together. Because I don't know why it's hard for people to confidently say that the church is our market space.
Well, these are the gospel musicians, but we wait for the turn of the pastors this Saturday on Showbiz A to Z. Then we get to hear them also on this. But that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. On myjoyonline.com, there are many stories also that you can read for yourself. Lead Me, Lord, with Pastor Mensa Otabil is coming up next. You want to stay for it. I am MFA Apao. Thanks for your company.
Hello, class. Mental. What is 2 and 3?
23.
2 and 4?
24.
2 and 5?
Sonata.
It's been 25 amazing years with you. And to celebrate this huge milestone, we're giving away 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles and lots of exciting prizes in the MTN at 25 promo. Just keep using your MTN number and talk, text, browse, and Momo more to gain points. And you could win one of 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles